Well, hello, and it's senior match, talking Rugby Union, and this week a little late due to some unexpected travel, but let's look at the Australian rugby resurgence. And remember, if you like what you hear, you can subscribe, you can give me a thumbs up, you can put a comment, you can do that on Substack, and you can do that on Talking Rugby Union's YouTube and Facebook. So this is the 11th week of me taking a look at rugby, and I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I thought the stadiums really stole the show this last weekend, either on the TV or across social media, and it was good to see Edinburgh and Cardiff really putting on a great show. Appreciation by everybody, in my humble opinion. To the TV, well, it was Courtney Lowes and Ugo Monye having a right ding-dong about what's happening with England. Both entitled to their opinions, both coming from slightly different approaches, angles, but also I think Ugo Monye is now one of those highly passionate rugby people that knows how to use TV to amplify his opinions. I think Courtney is still learning that. He'll be quite formidable in the next couple of years, I think. For me, on social media, there were mixed opinions about how the games went. I did think that England didn't quite have enough to deserve a victory against South Africa. I'd like to say they should have beaten them, but I'm not entirely sure that's right. And I'll let you see some of my thoughts in a moment, but I'm not despondent by what I'm seeing with England. I'm actually enjoying the rugby they're playing, and I've not said that for a number of years. So looking forward to the enjoyment being complete with a few wins. For me, Wales have got some very talented young players, and I think Gatland's just got to build a team. I can see some of the media getting at Gatland, but he's a good target. And in some respects, he's able to keep the pressure off the players, which isn't a bad thing when they're trying to develop. For Scotland, I was massively disappointed with the way Gregor Townsend used his replacements, but you'd expect that from me, given that he only seemed to give Johnny Matthews 15 minutes, and I sensed that Johnny found coming on for 15 minutes only quite difficult. But he's a very committed and talented player, and there's more to come from him, I'm absolutely certain. Watching Sedgley Tigers on social media, they're in the blue because they are in sponsored shirts for their charity Sick Kids. They're playing Rotherham. Pretty much for all of the game, it looked like it was Sedgley's. However, Rotherham got over the line. Fine margins once again. At Twickenham, as I say, I'm loving what I'm seeing on the field. I think they've certainly speeded up their game. Not quite convinced about the centre pairing. As good as I think Slade and Ollie Lawrence are, I'm not entirely sure that they're gelling that well. And I think it's limiting Marcus Smith's options. He's not quite confident enough in them. What is interesting is that the media pundits keep looking at England and saying they choke in the last 20 minutes. One of the common themes in that last 20 minutes is the pitch is full of replacements and we've taken off our captain, Jamie George. And I do wonder, in the era of modern day rugby, whether or not Borthwick might be better starting with Theo Dan and having Jamie George as his replacement hooker, but effectively his captain for the last period. Just a thought. One of the other features for me was that Underhill was outstanding. Many congratulations. And he was clearly run ragged as a ball carrier, a line-out option, a jackal, and a immense tackler. When he was replaced, I just felt that we didn't seem to get that same jackling. And I think from what I can see in those last 20 minutes, when a team like South Africa are really using their replacement bench in a very positive way to win games, the ability to jackal, the ability to disrupt is really important. And as much as Ben Earl, Luke Cowan-Dickey attempted to fill the shoes of Sam Underhill, I'm not sure they were able to do it. So I would say to Steve Borthwick, think about keeping an out-and-out jackal on the pitch for 80 minutes. Every stadium over the weekend put on superb light shows. It looked like a great experience for all the fans, and that's something we've got to applaud and embrace. Keep doing the Saturday night lights. It's great to see in Paris, and I didn't get a chance to review the Argentina-Ireland game, but that again was a Friday night lights, and I can only imagine that Dublin was rocking again. Rugby does have superstars, and there's many more out there. It was absolutely great this weekend to see such talented young players. They can be superstars. Let's hope we can help them become those. The results for me, obviously the England-South Africa game. Didn't quite do enough, as I said. Scotland did some very good things, and young Jordan looks like one of those who needs to become a superstar. And well done, Portugal. Bomb squad. And it worked. Great inspiration. In National 2, Lim continue their winning ways. They're doing exceptionally well, and I really would encourage people to keep an eye on that team. Macclesfield, yet again, having to travel down to Redruth. I know I say this on a regular basis, but that amount of travelling for amateur and semi-pro players is just so difficult, and it really is making it. The results are not consistent. And finally, Wales, Australia. Well done, Australia. Very entertaining rugby, and Joe Schmidt's got you resurgent, and long may that continue. I've always believed that Australia and sport go hand in hand, whether it's cricket, rugby league, rugby union, Aussie rules. So a resurgent Australia, here. And an Australian hits the world rugby scene as the new chair, replacing Bill Beaumont. And you can see my local club, Tarleton, had their guys out on the pitches over the weekend, and sure enough, they got the chance to meet Bill Beaumont. I remember meeting Bill Beaumont for the first time when my son was 6 years old, playing in a minis competition over at Preston Grasshoppers, and I was in awe that Bill Beaumont was there. And I've got to tell you, that respect for Bill Beaumont has never changed. And Dr. Robinson, you've got a lot to live up to. And in Paris, the French allowed the All Blacks to light up the stadium with the Haka. Truly amazing. Continues to be one of my favourites. So the Six Nations build-up's beginning, and there's going to be Full Contact Season 2 on Netflix. It's great to see. I personally don't get it at the moment. It's got so much potential, but I just don't think Netflix have delivered yet. But they will. And great to see Portugal. I really enjoyed them in the World Cup, and watching them against Scotland over the weekend was very enjoyable, but it was good to see their talented players shine. And of course their bomb squad, which really did make a difference. Elsewhere, good to see the Rotherham Titans fans congratulating Sedgley Park Media on their live broadcast, and looking out for those players that get injured during the game. Well done, Rotherham Titans, impressive. And picked this up on Facebook, but I got the shock of my life when I saw Walsall playing Melbourne. Not sure it's Melbourne, Australia, but you know, Australia, their resurgence has made it to Walsall. And thanks this week go to Talking Rugby Union, as ever, and National League Rugby. Do give those guys a like, give them a follow, subscribe. The National League Rugby show is excellent, and hoping that I can persuade Chris Heel to come on to one of my future discussions to talk National League Rugby with me. But for the moment, thanks and take care.